What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here, welcoming you to part 1 of a brand new modded Total Warhammer 2 Let's Play, continuing the coverage of the recent SFO Grimhammer II Kings and Raiders update. You've seen the Kings, so say hello to the Raiders. Throgg, King of the Trolls, the biggest troll in all the land, though alas, literally more so than figuratively. But hey, we all got something to improve upon, right? Anyway, Throgg is one of those classic monstrous Warhammer villains, where what makes him special is, besides, well, his physical prowess, is the fact that he has a modicum of intelligence, a vile intellect, just like many a green-skinned war boss that unites all the fun guys. Knowing how simple most trolls are, and that they're usually basically depicted like drooling idiots, some of the quotes from Throgg that are floating around out there are damn near frightening in their menace and eloquence. Unfortunately, this particular iteration of the game does depict Throgg as a little bit of a dullard, but nonetheless, you gotta keep that in mind that generally he's just as, if not more eloquent than the Ever-Chosen himself. Anyway, to put that little aside, I gotta say the typical housekeeping stuff about scheduling and voting and whatnot before we get going, but timestamps will be in the comments below for those who can't bear to be shilled at, and hey, no judging, I'm one of those people myself. So, scheduling. Those familiar with the channel know that I don't ever determine scheduling. I don't know which Let's Play I'll be playing today or tomorrow, so don't bother asking me, because I really have no clue. I strictly adhere to what the YouTube algorithm through analytics tells me to post, which means that your votes, being engagement with the videos in each Let's Play, being your likes and comments, are what manipulates the algorithm into telling me to schedule stuff. Blah blah blah, drop your likes and comments on stuff you want to see, and if you want to see Throgg posted regularly, if you want to support the channel, all that sort of good stuff. The higher engagement, the more often this particular Let's Play will win out over others, and you know, I mean, it's YouTube, you guys know the deal by now. I'm not going to bother with any more housekeeping, but I do got to give a shout out to my regular commenters for all the support, whether it's tips, discussions, or all the comments praising the glorious YouTube algorithm. It is all hugely appreciated. YouTube isn't my job, I do this for fun, so you guys keeping it fun is what keeps me going. And now I get it's time to get Throgg going. Slaneshi giggle, I'm sure you didn't need that image in your head, but now it's there. Let's see what we're working with, shall we? So, vile intellect, I don't remember whether this is a vanilla thing or an SFO thing. Let's see. Throgg has limitless appetite for meat and knowledge. Fighting enemies gives him a chance to understand their strengths and use their advantages as his own. Interesting. We got a diplomatic relationships, -20 with Norsca, sure enough. Leadership for Norscan trolls, construction costs for buildings, upkeep for trolls. So Throgg likes trolls. King of the Trolls has buffs to trolls, go figure. Let's see, and unique units, river trolls, stone trolls, and bile trolls. So, judging by all the different troll types, that's 5 just looking at this. We could probably have an all-troll army with Throgg, which sounds pretty darn interesting, although there'll probably be a couple of extra units in there, maybe like frostworms or something, just to give a little bit of a tactical difference than just charging an enemy with a bunch of trolls, as you would with a lizardman army. And as for Throgg himself, we have siege attacker, public order and tax rate are fairly useless. I mean, might be okay in the beginning, but you don't make much money in the beginning anyway. The problem with this is that Throgg is pretty much never going to be in his own province, except possibly in the beginning, as I recall that Norsca is fairly difficult to get started off with. Let's see, all units immune to all attrition, that is appreciated, and chaos corruption. So, most of this stuff is useless, except I would say the attrition thing. Siege Attacker is nice to have, but it's really not a big deal, because we just attack and don't build stuff anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, Allegiance to the Gods, Monster Hunts, and Aggressive Infantry-based roster. Monstrous units, I think, is more what we're looking at here. I guess this is for both Norsca, or i.e. Wulfric, and the World Walkers, as opposed to Wintertooth as well. But anyway, let's get going, shall we? Oh, King Throgg is recruiting an army such as the world has never known. The Troll King has traveled north to Winterpire in search of warriors, be they troll, man, or monster, eager to spread terror and revel in slaughter, to bring war in the name of the dark gods. But in his absence, the Southerners have discovered his lair within Troll Country, and now he is marshalling his forces to retake it. When he has wrested back control of his icy halls, the world will know his full wrath, as the King of the Trolls and his monstrous army destroy all in their path. Oh, it rhymed. That's adorable.
Hail, Throgg, King of Trolls. You venture far from your natural lair. These lands are rich with meat and war. Feast upon them, grow in strength and number to bring ruin beyond. To the east, the icy mountains harbor the dwarfs of Krakadrak. They mine great treasures for themselves. But all of this can be yours for the taking, or for the gods. To the south, Kislev. These men of the Bear dare to rule your kingdom. Let them feel the power of the monstrous horde. Destroy Erengrad and reclaim your rightful throne in Troll country. Beyond Kislev lies the Empire. Its bickering states of power are ripe with treasures. Take from these soft southern lands and establish new ports on their shores from which you can raid further. Across the Sea of Claws, a would-be challenger lies in wait aboard his precious ship. Devour him and do as you wish with his marauding warriors. Throgg, you are the Wintertooth, cunning and all-powerful. Let the realms of man suffer in horror and pain as your monstrous horde lays waste to all.
Alright, here we go. Wintertooth. How they play allegiance to the gods. The gods offer great rewards and bonuses once a significant amount of allegiance has been pledged by erecting great monoliths in raised settlements. Okay, so we'll have to decide on this most likely quite a bit later, as we won't be raising too much in Norsca, because we can actually hold on to these territories, but we will be raising as we go down to territories. Now, the Monstrous Arcanum allows you to embark on wild hunts to track and defeat the most ferocious of beasts. Defeating them grants powerful items and some of the captured beasts to command in battle. Tribal Confederation, the Norscan tribes can be confederated by their leaders having been defeated in battle. Marauder outposts can be established at conquered coastal settlements outside of Norsca, enabling basic recruitment options and locations from which to replenish armies. Securing major capitals, cities allows fully developed Norscan settlements to be built and unlock unique technologies that research will not just swell.
The harsh and desolate wastes of Norsca embrace you into its cold and wintry grip, my lord. Yet it cannot sustain your appetite for war indefinitely. You will need to voyage from this land to raid and pillage. Your gods will gaze favorably upon you for this. Raise in their name, and align yourself with one to be granted their twisted and ruinous gifts.
Yes, we all love ruinous gifts. Let's see, Monstrous Arcanum. The following technology is... Oh, okay, so we need a tech before we can access even the first, most basic ones. Let's see, what do we have here? Monster Hunter unlocks level 1 monster hunts. That's lovely. Recruitment 10 for Marauder infantry units. Leadership for Marauder units, and oh, wow. Okay, so this is all the Vile Intellect stuff. We need 1 Vile, or Vile Knowledge. Comes from Vile Intellect, I guess. Let's see what kind of stuff this is. Construction cost minus 100 for ports. Well, isn't that lovely? That's a lot of free money out of that. Campaign movement range plus 10%, not a huge deal, but the charge bonus plus 20% in enemy territory. That's lovely. That's lovely. Imperial Endurance, Imperial Tactics for Skin Wolf, Werekin, Fimir, Bale Fiends, and Shaman Sorcerers. So they get free Disciplined and Vigor, huh? Well, there's a lot of stuff here to go through. It looks like some stuff is a lot better than others. Immune to Athalord and Awakened Forest Attrition. Oh, so we're not immune to all attrition. Why you lie to me, game? Alright, we'll take a look at all these later, especially as we start getting some of that actual Vile Knowledge. In the meantime, I guess we gotta go for Monster Hunter because we can start upgrading trolls basically immediately off of this, as well as Skin Wolves and Ice Wolves and Warhounds. Yeah, all the good stuff for Throgg appears to be in this tree. The Norscan tech tree is actually quite small if you don't consider the Vile Knowledge stuff. We also have this part. I guess this part gets a little bit bigger, but there's not a lot of stuff here with regards to the trolls, huh? Alrighty, well, we'll deal with that as we get to it. Now, let's see. Throgg, we get Winterpart to start off with, which allows us to get Marauders, Zerkers, and Marauders with great weapons. Well, really no other option than to start building that. We are immediately at war with the Aeslings. Aisling Conclave and Altar of Spawns. I guess the Aisling Conclave is going to be a little bit closer, so we gotta head to there, which is what the game is telling us to do, right? Oh yeah, way closer. Okay, so let's head to the edge of our own territory, I guess, and we can recruit some stuff. What is this? Armor piercing. Okay, this is regular trolls, Norscan ice trolls, and Norscan bile trolls. We start off with several trolls. Unit upgrades. Hello, what does this have? Monstrous... Oh, hello. In melee, armor piercing, melee attack, gift of the eagle, frostbite, triggers explosion that knocks back enemies. That's Zinch. Gift of the serpent, perfect vigor. Now, SFO has massively increased how vigor affects everybody, so this might be quite useful. And then gift of the crow. Melee defense and physical resistance, quite a lot of it actually. At stage 5, that's after 2 straight minutes of being in melee though. Will trolls be in melee for 2 straight minutes? Not super likely, I would think. But still, there's definitely some nice stuff in here. Hound is Corn, so it's not surprising that he gives melee attack and armor piercing. But I would imagine that trolls already do quite a bit of armor piercing as well. And is it the same kind of upgrades for everybody? Like, do you guys get the same stuff? Let's see, Hound. Hound on the Hounds. No, it's different for every single thing. Oh, that's interesting. Enables contact discouraged that greatly lowers leadership. Oh, that's pretty neat. For a Hound unit especially. Make enemy unit range units rout really quickly. I do like that. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff to go through here. We obviously can't choose this stuff yet because we have insufficient materials. I'm not entirely sure what materials it means. But we'll get to it eventually. In the meantime, let's recruit some of our most basic stuff. What do we start off with? I do like the Marauder Horsemen and stuff, but they are inferior to the Marauder Champions and stuff that you get later on. We can get Marauder Spears to hold the line, but these are the unshielded kind, so they won't really hold the line as long as the regular Marauders. We can also get Marauder Hunters, which are also unshielded, and have like no melee defense by comparison. Either way, I think we start by getting a couple of Marauder Hunters with Javelins. We need some range in this army, clearly. Let's get a couple of these and maybe one more of these regular Marauders to hold the line. Something like that. And we don't super need the Cav right away because we have the Warhounds and the Norscan Ice Wolves to act as pseudo-Cav. In addition, let's just double check Throggy's skill tree real quick. I don't want to waste too much time on this. Oh, he starts with Copious Vomit, so his breath attack, right? Honestly, the damage thing doesn't really tell me much about how much damage this does. You'd think that the numbers would help, but it really doesn't. At least not without really delving into it. Flow of battle. Okay, so there's some... This is just basically upgrading Throgg to be a nice fighty type troll. Loyal Kin, Elder Beast, Recruit rank. I'm just looking if anything actually upgrades trolls. Ruinous Flesh. My favorite kind of flesh. Self affects allies in range, plus 20% missile resistance and 15 armor. It's not bad. King of Trolls. Oh, here we go. Upkeep for trolls, but not really actual upgrades to them. Oh, there we go. Frostworm upgrade. Nice. Okay, we can definitely get some Frostworms in there. Monstrous Fiends. I was about to say Monstrous Friends, but I suppose that also kind of works. And this also does upgrade trolls, as well as Fimir. Okay, definitely some good stuff in there. Oh, wow. Voice of the Dark Gods plus 80% leadership aura. That's a huge aura. Alrighty, well, we'll deal with this as we go. We've gotten some unit upgrades, or a unit recruitment going. I guess since we're heading to Aisling Conclave for our first battle, we just gotta end the turn. There's no heroes we can make right away, right? No. I was hoping for a Skinwolf Weirkin, but no. Oh, well. Well, let's go next. I probably could have done a little bit of Diplo, but we're going to attack all the Norscans to try to confed them all anyway. I don't believe we're at war with Krakadrax starting off, so we can just ignore them for now. Ooh, hello, what do we have here? Begin the reaving. The Jarls bicker like underfed dogs, and the marauders are eager to pillage and burn. The seers say the gods watch with keen interest, and that now is the time to make a sacrifice and dedication to secure an unholy blessing. The Dark Ones are jealous, though, and we will only be able to take advantage of one of their blessings. Is this forever? Is this a certain amount of turns? 20 turns. I guess we need to do this for 20 turns. 10% movement range isn't horrible. Income from post-battle loot and charge bonus. Research rate. That's nice. I don't really give a damn about the public order, but the research rate. Construction time for all buildings. Once again, not a huge deal. But if this was construction cost, I would have taken this without question. I say we go for the Eagle, as odd as that does seem. Throgg is supposed to be intelligent, so maybe it does make sense for him to be a little bit more Zinchi than you normally think. Not that the 25% loot from battles isn't bad, or is bad, rather. Well, let's go for the research rate. The growth is also quite nice, but we probably won't have the cash to make too much use of it, at least in the early game anyway. 20 turns, Eagle. There we go, and that at least shaves off one turn from that particular research. Now what we're gonna do... I wonder who's in here. Like, will we need more? I don't know. Wait, doesn't Norsca have that stance that allows it to recruit? Raiding camp. It requires 25% movement. Alright, well, let's move on right here. 25%. Good. And what do we have here? Lamont Dahl. I take it you're not the leader of this faction? Oh, it is the leader of this faction. Oh, we can defend this entire faction right away if we kill him. Oh, okay, so what we'll do is we'll go into our raiding camp, and then we will... Oh, it's gonna take 5 turns. Well, that's a waste. Well, there's no point in doing this, is there? Although, as I recall, the AI doesn't like it when you recruit stuff, so maybe if we recruit stuff, he'll be like, oh, I'm gonna attack you now. He's gonna come in with, what, 11 troops? Basic recruitment will allow him to get, what, 3 or 4, so it'll be 10 or 11. Versus our 13? Oh, versus our 11. Okay, so it'll be about even. Alright, interesting. Interesting. Since this is gonna get canceled, we're gonna get the cheapest one. Well, let's see if the enemy goes for it, or if we're gonna have to attack him straight at the settlement here. And, oh, they're gonna attack us. Oh, they have a Frostworm in their frickin' army. Oh, wait. Wait, how do we do this? So, if we defeat him, we can federate him. But then we get his stuff. But then if we kill the army, we don't get the stuff in the army. So we need to kill everything except for the Frostworm, I guess. Okay, well, this is going to be interesting. We're going to have to make this a cinematic battle, of course, so let's get to it. First debut battle, Throgg versus Lamont Dahl, who I have never heard of. Alrighty, here we go. Throgg's debut against a fairly simple-looking enemy army. They do, of course, have one hyper-elite unit, being this Frostworm. I recall they weren't super great in vanilla, but that is probably not the case in SFO or since the updates that have come in. And by vanilla, I mean the first game. But they've always looked freaking amazing. I mean, just look at this freaking thing. Ain't you lovely? Ain't she a beaut? Let's see. So what do we have here? We have Throgg himself walking around that gigantic maul that he likes to smack people around with. And does he have that he does indeed have the crown on his tusk, or on his Wintertooth. Oh, he looks so happy. He's such a happy guy. Alrighty, plus we got our ice trolls, our Norscan ice trolls, and our regular Norscan trolls. Looking pretty nice. Drooling all over the place, like I said earlier. Oh, so the Norscan ice trolls don't drool. Maybe it would probably freeze before it did. And then we got a single Norscan bile troll, one of the unique units that we can't construct except, I believe, in outposts. Oh, cool. Huh. Well, with all the green, makes it almost look like warpstone. So this guy could belong in Clan Molder. But I guess it's all just been, it's all just painted by bile? Is that why it's all green? Well, regardless, let's get this battle started. We got a pretty simple setup with main line. We got our trolls ready to flank. We got our range behind, and we got a small main line of marauders with shields to take the brunt of the enemy assault and to die if need be. We also have the 2 units of wolves that we started off with running around to the flanks to try to flank the enemy units, and more importantly, to chase down any marauders that will try to run away. We also got Throgg coming up the center, since he can't use his breath attack or his bile puke or whatever the hell it is. There you go. You guys get a nice shot of that because that's what everybody wanted. He can't use it in melee, so we gotta use it as the enemy army comes up, unless we want to back off and then just shoot it into the sides of the enemy and then rush Throgg, and I don't really want to do that. Plus, another benefit of running Throgg in first like this is that the enemy dragon, or the enemy frostworm rather, will inevitably try to breathe on Throgg, and Throgg can simply dodge it by moving slightly to the side. Plus, Throgg, of course, has his troll regeneration capability, so not a big deal getting breathed on by the frostworm, unless he takes the full brunt of like 2 or 3 and just gets insta-killed. I have had that happen with a few lords in the past, and look at those javelins coming in from our range units right away. Those are some, I don't know, brave or stupid marauders charging into that. And I'm surprised a bunch of them aren't dead, just judging by all the javelins sticking out of them. I mean, these are marauders. They're not chosen. They're not really empowered so much by the gods. They're still more or less regular humans. So I feel like taking like 3 javelins to the chest should probably more or less kill you. Alrighty, and we do have a counter charge going on by our own shielded marauders. And did I just speed it up double? No. And there we go. So these guys all group up around Throgg, who is our monstrous tank, and we allow our own trolls to do some Norscan marauder bowling. The dragon is in the press here, but of course that allows us to target it with a bunch of javelins, and the javelins that miss, of course, do land into the enemy line of units. We also have a secondary charge going on the flank over here with the Norscan ice trolls, looking pretty damn cool, and real happy as well. All the trolls just look so happy. They're having a great time. There we go. Bliss and ignorance, as the trolls are imbecilic, I suppose, makes some amount of sense. And they're just going to go to town on these guys, along with, I believe... Actually, no, these guys are by themselves. I believe they had greater leadership than the regular trolls, but not compared to the Bile Troll, who has, I believe, 80 leadership as compared to the 60 or so the trolls have. The trolls, of course, getting the marauders to rout basically immediately. They do cause that fear and terror, and of course we do have our Norscan warhounds in a weird little line running around, getting ready to chase those marauders. Actually, this line was unintentional, but it did work out because it allows them to run between the battles without getting engaged and then chase after these guys. We also got some cycle charging going on with the Norscan Ice Wolves from this side. But a few of them do get killed despite this. I guess they're a fairly weak unit, much better at chasing enemies because they don't survive in melees very well. So I gotta keep that in mind. I gotta compare the stats of the Norscan Warhounds versus the Norscan Ice Wolves. But anyway, we also have the Frostworm routing basically very, very quickly. He took a lot of damage from the Marauder Javelins. They brought him down extremely quickly. I was actually worried that another volley would straight up kill the thing and not allow us to take it in the Confederation. We also have Throgg over here, and I believe the enemy chieftain is in the press. I did tell Throgg to go right after him, and he don't care. He towers over the battlefield and does go straight for that chieftain, knocking everybody around, both his own troops as well as the enemy. We got light blue against lilac here, but they're reasonably easy to tell apart. And where's that lord? How's he looking? Oh, he's not having a fun time. He's not lost too much HP, but he certainly has lost a lot of his leadership. Basically, the entire army will rout very soon. You can see the Bile Troll in the back here towering over the combat as well. There you go, Throgg. I really wish he could use his bile spew vomit on enemy ability within the melee press, but I guess it might be too powerful. I mean, Durthu can use his gaze ability within melee, so why not? Oh wow. Yeah, you could see enemies just straight up being exploded by the enemy, and you can see the regular animations of trolls using the puke ability. So, maybe I'm wrong, maybe you can use it. But anyway, the enemy army has obviously already routed. This is a pretty darn easy opening battle. The game generally does very, very easy opening battles, so I'm just going to go ahead and speed up through the rest of it. I believe I sent the enemy lords to chase down the trolls to chase down the Lord, and I probably shouldn't have done that because we're trying to confederate him. So I basically wounded him unnecessarily. But I guess, you know, I was channeling my inner troll energy there and just wanted to chase him down and kill him. We got our wolves and our hounds chasing down as many marauders to kill them as possible, but since they're the only units that we have that are fast enough, they're really the only units that are able to destroy enemies like this. So, there we go. Debut battle, easy win. Alrighty, there we go. Debut battle, and a fairly easy one at that. I mean, Throgg took a little bit of damage at the beginning there, but his troll regeneration did allow him to stick through it and stay at full HP by the end of the enemy lord falling, and 2 units getting chased down by the hounds and destroyed. The frostworm did survive, with which is exactly what we were hoping. We also got a wolf claw banner, which apparently is not usable on any of our units. Not sure why that would be. Causes Fear and Terror wouldn't be useful on Throgg anyway, but you're not entirely sure. Maybe we can use that afterwards, just not on the screen. And use it on a later one. Anyway, let's see what we... also, I was fairly impressed with the amount of damage the Marauder Hunters were able to dish out, and that's not surprising as the Javelins are fairly effective as a shock weapon. They brought down that Frostworm real quick, and so did they damage a bunch of the enemy Marauder units fairly quick, despite the fact that they were shielded. Let's see. We could regenerate, but if this is to... 5 turns, 10% weapon strength. But yeah, if we get to confederate these guys, then there's no need, because this is going to be our territory in a couple seconds anyway, so we can just sacrifice the captives. Unless I'm mistaken. Next turn, they'll become confederated, right? Right? Faction-wide caps recommended. That's the one I like to do, and it is the recommended one. I don't like no caps because it feels cheap, because you can just get an army with like 8 billion dragons. More importantly, the AI can get an army with 1 billion dragons, which, is gross and not really fun to play with. I remember the start of the game, basically, Total Warhammer 2. Just remember facing high elves with stacks of nothing but dragons. And I was just like, who is enjoying this? Did nobody playtest this? Anyway, faction-wide caps is what we're gonna go with. Vile Knowledge +1 Norsca, and here we go. The leader of the Nulfarlings tribe has been defeated. A once powerful warlord now reduced to obscurity beneath your might. For as you stand tall in victory, he kneels at your side, hands in chains. His followers stood amongst yours, brought to a halt in anticipation of your next utterance. His men now see him as weak and unfit to lead any longer. This is a chance for you to take control of this faction's forces and land, as well as its followers' dubious loyalty. So, confederate with these guys, execute him, and kill him permanently, but gain some cash. We want to form an early confederation, because this, I believe, is our starting province, and this is what we are supposed to do. Oh, the rest of Norsca doesn't like us from doing this, so, well, whatever, that's like. There we go. We get these guys immediately. Our predicted income drops to -501. That's actually not horrible. Province secured, Mountains of Hell. Yes, that is indeed our starting province. And what we have over here provides garrison melee okay, Dark Furnace. We don't need you. No offense, but no thanks. Then... oh, Throgg got a level up as well. We will need to join these two armies together and delete this Fimir Lord Miar. Huh, what are you? Military heritage mammoth. You're some sort of mammoth man. Or whatever the hell you are. Okay, Fimir, talismans... what are you supposed to do? Oh, spamming these guys can Lead to increase... Increase in power for all giants. Interesting. Interesting. What else do we have here? Anything unique? I don't actually see anything unique here. So, you're a caster lord, but you've got actually fairly decent melee attack and defense and weapon strength. You could use 2 lords at once. They don't lock each other out. That's pretty cool. Start at level 4. We're going to be using Throgg's army for now, but we might get you back later. Interesting. Oh, okay. Confederation. I wonder, does the lord that we just got rid of... no, not the Lord of Change. Each additional lord gives you... What do we need for this guy? Only if you align yourself with the Eagle God. Oh. Charismatic Lamont Dahl. Now, I wonder if this guy is a special lord or not. Because he was the leader of a faction. Marauder Pathfinder as well. Alright. At least we got choices in terms of lords. So you guys are the range lords. Okay. And the... Okay, well, anyway, we'll deal with that later. You, my friend, are going to join up with Throgg, but you're going to have to do that next turn, because neither of you can move right now. But we will probably have to get rid of... well, we'll definitely keep you. We just wait a turn, take the 500 loss. I think we do that. Not a huge deal either way. I mean, we don't really need 2 more Marauders, do we? And we don't need you guys. We don't need the raiding cap anymore. That's just going to piss off our own territory. Although... Oh, there we go. Now we can move. I was just thinking that, do we want to piss off our own territory and farm rebellions? I feel like that's what Norsca does, but I can't 100% recall if that's the case. I want to screw this thing up. Oh, wow. If we fight the Varg early on... This is the Varg, right? Yeah, I recognize the symbol. They have some good stuff. Sirtha Ek is over here. I'd love to get the Lord of Chariots, the God of Chariots, rather, on our side early. We will have to make our way to him. I think that's gonna have to be the goal. Let's just take your stuff. Take all this, and then we'll delete the fleet. You can go away. Now we're at 302. Huh. I feel like that should have been more, but whatever. Okay, so now Throgg can't move, but he can do local recruitment. We have 5 regular Marauders now, as well as 1 unit of... Question is, do we prefer the close quarters Marauder Hunters over the great weapon Marauders? You know what, I feel like we should get a couple of these guys. I want more hounds as well, so let's get some of these guys. It's going to start getting real expensive, but we can raid Varg territory as we move towards Sirtha Ek, then fight him wherever he is, and then just... they don't like us too much already. Alright, and Throgg, you have to get your basic skills. Let's get you your... melee defense plus 15 for Frostworm is a really nice point, but we do need to get Root Marcher right away. Norscan resilience from raiding, tribute from vassals, experience per turn, not horrible. I always wonder whether to bother going for the blue line or not. It really depends on the lord, because some lords they just have so much stuff to put your points in. Well, I guess we have several troll units. So we gotta go with Monstrous Fiends. I should just call it Monstrous Friends, because I just find it funny. And then we'll go for Primordial Masters right after that. We're probably gonna get a couple of these Frostworms in our army. I like them. And in fact, where's the upgrade for these guys? Frostworm, Hail of Teeth. It's a separate upgrade. Actually, this upgrade isn't great. 3 points for only 6 melee attack and 12 armor. This is for the better... Actually, these upgrades are kind of weak. Huh. Oh, and we got 2 upgrades for Skin Wolves, and... Actually, wait, no, this doesn't upgrade Wolves. Damn. A lot to choose from here. Oh well, we'll get to it when we get to it. Okay, I believe that's another turn we can end as we head towards Sirtha Ek. I'm actually wondering why we can see Sirtha Ek. Do we have vision of him for any particular reason? Like, he's an enemy, right? We have nothing... have no kind of alliance with him. Oh, wow, look at that deterioration. Aversion minus 75. I mean, they're dwarves. Alright, next. We'll recruit a 20 stack, then we'll use raiding stance through Cirtha X territory as we just head straight toward. Oh, looks like he's heading towards us, in fact. I saw him move here. And let's see, Beastmen Rising setup. The Beastmen have grown numerous in recent years, deep in the forests of the old world in hidden caves, fetid jungles, and secluded desert regions. They await the call of their chaotic masters. Will the tribes leave these areas to destroy and ravage the civilization of the world? Choosing yes will enable Beastmen invasions in the mid and late game. This will make the game easier if you play as Chaos or Beastmen. We want it to make it easier, and I think not. We're not Chaos. But I don't want the Beastmen destroying all the Empire and stuff, and then we have nothing to do. So that's going to be a no from me. Oh, hello. There's a freaking Skull Island here. Oh, that is beautiful. Oh, this is a great start, I think. As far as I can remember from Norsca. Let's see. I wish that you had the option of regular camp instead of just raiding camp. And let's see, what did we start building here? Oh my word, there's a lot more stuff here than I remember. Huh, okay. What do we have here? We got income, relationship with Dark Elves, income from sacking settlements, income from raiding. We got growth and research rate. These we can't build. Income from all buildings, all regions of the province. Okay, we basically have to build this everywhere. Offerings of war. That's going to be a necessity. Bless Marauder Champions and Shaman Sorcerers out of the Ruinous Altar. It's my favorite kind of altar. And a ton of buildings here. Upkeep for all Cav. Oh, is there an upkeep for all Trolls? Upkeep for all Wolf, Norscan Warhounds, Ice Wolves, and Fimir units, and upkeep for Trolls, as well as some Vigor Reduction and Replenishment Rate for everyone. Alright, some cool stuff. But I guess this is the capital. And, oh, chosen. But not in this army. Where's the troll tree? We got Norscan trolls out of here. We got Norscan ice trolls out of here, and Norscan giants. I believe the special units, like the bile trolls and the river trolls, it said that they were out of outposts, so we can't build them out of the out of any of these lines, unfortunately. Well, I guess we gotta go with the Blessed Longhouse of Terror. It does increase capacity for Skinwolves and Fimir, but more importantly, allows us to recruit more of these guys. Early wolves are pretty damn important because they act as your cav. Speaking of cav, I just want to double check which tree. It should be a Marauder tree now. Can we not even recruit them at all? Huh. Are we not able to recruit Marauder Horsemen? Or Marauder Horsemasters? That's the unit I was thinking of. Oh, unit capacity plus 2 Marauder Horsemasters, but it doesn't say it allows you to actually build them. So, which building? Provides garrison, unlocks recruitment of Marauder Spearmen, Marauders, and Marauder Javelins. Okay, so here's the question. What's allowing us to recruit Marauder Horsemen and Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes? What here is allowing this? This provides a garrison. Oh, it's this thing. It's a level 2 of this. And can you get Marauder Horsemasters off of this? Berserkers, Ice Wolf Chariots, and Marauder Chariot. So we can't... Oh, so his faction can't recruit Marauder Horsemaster. Or whatever the hell that unit's name was. You know the one I'm talking about. It's like reddish. It's the upgrade of these guys. I remember building tons and tons of them as Chaos, but maybe you can't. Well, okay, well that's mystery stalled. Let's keep recruiting and moving forward over here. Let's see if we can't meet Cirtha Ek in the field. If he's going this way, it'd be amazing. Easy confed. We don't want to confed too much, I think, but the Varg should be ideal. And then I'm willing to bet that Wulfric's going to get real pissy real quick about it. Plus, we gotta head down here for the Skull Island anyway, to fix up our economy. I do want more Javelins, though. We have plenty of melee units. We are losing a little bit too much cash, so maybe... I'm actually kind of tempted to get rid of the Marauders with great weapons. Because we're not making enough cash. Yeah, as I said, I was about to build this, but maybe we need to build something that gives us cash instead. This one gives us 100 per turn. But it does nothing other than give us money. And we could always build it here instead. Honestly, kind of tempted to get rid of this and replace it with money. I don't really care about the Lord Recruit rank, or the plus 0.75 right now is really not enough to be worth it. And I'll get rid of the Raiders camp. We'll replace it with a money-making thing. We will, however, build this thing here. There we go. Decisions made. Keep attacking the province. Keep moving, Throggy. Let's get you at least one more Marauder Hunters with javelins. I feel like I went a little bit too heavy on the melee. I mean, technically the Marauder Hunters aren't melee, but they're sort of good enough. Next turn, Sirtha Ek. Come here, please. Come right here. Throgg wants to play. Is that Sirtha Ek? Please tell me that's Sirtha Ek. He went into freaking March stance. You gotta be kidding me, Sirtha. Oh my lord. He went into March stance right beside us. I don't even know what to say. That's hilarious.
My
oh, you poor man. You poor freaking idiot. That's a bunch of free provinces. This is going real swell. Until Wulfric declares war on us, we just gotta make sure not to lose to him. Oh, wonderful. Okay, well, there we go. do you got any fun stances? Let's see, you got a Rampage stance, Perfect Vigor. Wait, is that Perfect Vigor for the entire army? Or is it just for Throgg? No, it actually doesn't say. Does it give this to everybody or no? This is probably the perfect time to find out now that I think about it, because this is a battle we most likely can't lose because we outnumber the enemy and we have better units. So let's go Rampage stance. And let's see. Let's see if this does that to every single one of our units. Declare war. Oh, Sirtha. You poor fool. This just amuses me so much. We could even... Really, wait, this really can't go on any one of our units? Seriously, what the hell's wrong with this thing? Come on. We got regular Marauder units. Maybe we have to give it to another Lord. I don't know. What I do know, however... Oh, freaking chariots? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. It's gonna take some time. We'll have to send the Frost Worm after them. I am gonna have to make a cut here because the last battle was a cinematic battle, and this one will be... as well, because, I mean, it's a starting episode. We gotta get familiar with our units and all the new stuff we got. Plus, we gotta see the Frostworm in action. Even if this is going to be a relatively easy victory, we'll nonetheless have to do it cinematic style. Alrighty, here we go. The God of Chariots versus the King of Trolls. Honestly, I'm still laughing at the March stance of going right beside Throgg. Oh, poor Sirtha. Yeah, it's so foolish. So foolish. Alright, so to kick off the battle, we have a fairly simple, once again, setup. Much longer melee line than before, with the trolls actually heading behind our melee line so that they can approach and use the Marauders as meat shields while they whack away and don't take too much leadership shocks themselves. That's usually the best way to use the monstrous infantry if you're not flanking. And then we do have our wolves obviously flanking because they're our main units, but we do have to be careful with them because the enemy is toting around a pair of Marauder chariots, which will absolutely annihilate the wolves if they get them into a single charge. So there is definitely something to watch out for. We also have our Marauder, or our Rampage stance, whatever the hell it's called. So we do have to be a little bit careful with getting our units stuck into situations where they might get killed. Obviously, we are sending up Throgg and the Frostworm first, because they both have breath attacks. We've got to use them up basically immediately, try to do as much damage as we can. And here we go. First breath attack is going to come from the Frostworm on these range units, just as Sirtha Ek himself moves up. And there we go. A bunch of enemies melting, and exploding into bloody chunks. I know how you guys like that sort of thing. There we go. So let's check out how much damage that single breath attack did. 53 units remaining in that Marauder Hunter unit, which is pretty darn good out of the 100. Basically, more than half models dead and more than half damage, as well as all leadership gone. They're wavering from the damage sustained. They won't rout from this, I believe, but that's okay. We also have Throgg coming in, and I am going to single target attack him at... oh, actually, I think I told him to target Sirtha Ek, but I don't know whether I get this. Yeah, I think the dragon landed here because it rampaged right away. I think a single axe hit it, and then it goes, yeah, look, there's an axe embedded in its neck. Probably the thing that made it rampage immediately, which I thought was a little bit silly, that the Frostworm didn't take at least a little bit of damage before going straight into rampage. It's a little bit annoying, because... I mean, sure, that does buff it, but I would have liked to control it a little bit more. I'll land it in amongst the enemy range troops instead, but hey, whatever. And so instead, Throgg is going to puke on another range unit. I believe it's on this Marauder Hunter unit. Well, let's see how much damage this does as compared to the Frostworm's breath attack. It certainly hits a decent number of units, but we gotta note that 2 units were basically on top of each other here, and not in a good way. Actually didn't do a crazy amount of damage. I will be interested to compare that puke attack against units as opposed to a single entity. I vaguely remember that Throgg's ability can be a single target attack and do decent damage as well, but I guess we'll have to find out. Anyway, the Marauder Chieftain, being Sirtha Ek, is not having a great time against the Frostworm alone, and now Throgg is going to join the fray, so Sirtha Ek is going to have a straight-up bad time here. There we go. Honestly, a single hit with that maul there would probably send this entire chariot flying, but I guess you can't have chariots go flying. And of course, we also have our marauders and our trolls coming on in. As I saw the dragon rampage, I charged the entire army in, and the battle lines have mixed. Everywhere looks fairly decent for us. We got our wolves chasing around that routing unit, which did in fact rout, so I'm eating my words, so good job to the Frostworm. And yes, I'm going to be calling it Frostworm and Frost Dragon interchangeably because I can't keep track. So yeah, this unit is obviously getting sandwiched between a pair of Marauder units, and it's just going to wrap very, very quickly as well. Out on the flanks here, we have most of our range units. I'm basically trying to just keep them from getting charged by the chariots, which is why I kept a single unit of Norse controls back. In case the chariots were to charge these guys, the trolls would just surround them and kill them. I also get the range units to basically have a range war, with the hunters targeting the Marauder horsemen and the javelins targeting the enemy javelins. I probably should have done it the other way around, as these guys have the range. But it's okay. I think they both wreck the horsemen pretty darn easily. And finally, the Frostworm is out of its rampage, so it can fly around and actually land amongst more enemy units, causing more fear. Help out the Bile Troll over here, as well as the regular trolls. I told them to charge the Norsca chariots again, because once again, I'm kind of terrified of enemy chariots. So I'd like to get Sirtha Ek's force deprived of its talons, as it were. There we go. They can't get out of this, and obviously the Monstrous Infantry counter them fairly decently. A lot of enemy units are already routing, as this is a pretty easy battle with the enemy march stance crippling their vigor, which does bad things to their morale as well. And look at the enemy rout. I mean, judging by how quickly they went, this entire flank is basically gone, or the entire front line or center is gone. We just have the flanks remaining, or rather, this particular flank was the part where we took the most damage. One of our Marauder units actually got sandwiched between 2 enemy units of Marauders with great weapons, and they did a lot of damage there. But of course, we have our own Marauder with great weapons units. They came out of the forest there. They actually started off hidden and were able to charge the enemy Marauders with great weapons and just destroy them in revenge for their brothers. So this flank just about to die. There's another chariot here, but we're not going to be concerned with that, especially as the ice trolls come on in and just finish up what the Marauders with great weapons started. And I do believe this entire army is chain routing now, and there's really nothing to see other than that, with Sirtha Ek having run off having taken a lot of damage, and I actually kept the wolves chasing him so that he would rout instead of come back into the battle. I didn't really care whether he died or he didn't. I just didn't want him supporting the army with his leadership so that they would rout as fast as possible. And there we go, Sirtha Ek, God of Chariots, defeated by the King of Trolls. And there we go, another win for Milos. Props for those who got the reference. So we did really well. I mean, I suppose we were expecting to do really well because the enemy was in march stance, but the several units certainly proved their worth. Throgg once again in the center of things, taking no damage, but the Frostworm was the first into combat by accident due to that rampage. I actually got worried and charged the army really early because I thought it would die, but it didn't take nearly as much damage as I thought it would, and it didn't even have the upgrades that will make it more powerful yet, did it? Or did it? I don't remember. I guess we're about to find out, but either way, and it got 110 kills, those breath attacks doing very, very nicely. Actually a little bit surprised that the Marauder Hunters got so many more kills than the Marauder Hunters with the Javelins. I guess we'll have to keep testing those two units. I mean, I guess it's a trade-off, firepower versus range. But anyway, Sirtha Ek and the Varg will now become Throgg's minions as well. We're going to go for money sacrifice captives as well, because we are losing that cash, and we're going to need it to build up all this Varg territory that we are going to get. And there we go. Obviously, we're going to confederate with the Varg tribe yet again. And there we are. I hope we're not doing a little bit... I hope we're not going a little bit too fast, because this is going to piss off a lot of enemies. Or a lot of factions, rather. And now, I think there's going to have to be some administrative parts to this. We will have to move towards... Who do we think is going to attack us next? It might very well be the Scaling.
We are both their puppets.
Felman Ingerson. You are going to have to be attacked next, and where are... Wait, did... Oh, because he was in march stance, his army disappeared. Damn, I didn't realize that. That's a little bit unfortunate. We will get Sirtha Ek back. He's stupid, shares the intellect of a Ritter tribe. The Lord of Chariots. Oh, man, that's... Is that random, or is that on him every time? The plus 50% charge bonus is nice up for the God of Chariots, but the leadership, oh man, that greatly amuses me. So we probably won't be using this stance too much. The Rampage stance, I really disliked how it forced the Frostworm to charge in before it took any real amounts of damage. And yes, indeed, it was without its up... Oh, no. Yeah, it was. Okay. Primordial Masters go straight for that upgrade to you. And I guess, while we do want dominating presence, I feel like we go for the Voice of the Dark Gods early on as well. Let's do that. Make Throgg buff everybody nearby him. And then I guess we gotta go and make Throgg a very, very nasty melee combatant. What else do we have here? Legendary Raider, Defiant, Wound Recovery Time. I honestly don't care about any of these. Bonus versus large attrition. His army is immune to attrition. This makes this fairly useful. So I guess we gotta go through the Loyal Kin part, which is at 12, or rank 12, which means we can save points at, say, rank 8. So when we reach rank 8, we save it, and then we just pop all the points in here to try to get resilient mutations basically right off the bat. That will be quite nice, right? Presuming, I believe we get 2 points at rank 10, right? So it'll be 8, 9, 10, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. So at rank 8, we save the point. Okay, and then we'll start leveling this eventually. But until then, do we head to the Skull Island for that nice influx of cash? Or do we head straight towards the Scaling? They will declare war on us. So it's basically guaranteed. The question is, how long will they take? I'm also thinking we destroy all these extra buildings. We replace them with money-making buildings basically everywhere. Like, these are all fine. The recruitment cost and melee defense is all fine, but it's not really worth it right now. So this is one new province, Trollheim Mountains, and then the mountains of Naglfari. Same with you. All this stuff can go away. We'll rebuild it later as we need it, but we need to kickstart our economy, get a second lord get a second army under the leadership of Surtha Ek going ASAP. Let's start upgrading the Altar of Spawns to level 2 as well. Winter Pyre, you can go for cash money, please. That will be Beast Tanner and First Dash. Go, go, go. You already have your port, but we need level 3 to upgrade it there. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with that. I don't believe there's any more buildings to build. And I do expect, since we're running out of time, that we're out of battles in this particular episode. Throgg, and down here. Man, the Skull Island might actually be a fairly tough battle. Can we win it with just basic Marauders? It really depends on what kind of units they have. If it has like a Necrofex Colossus or something, we might have a tough time. But I guess we could always lose and retreat. It's not a big deal. As long as we don't lose our units, it won't really matter. A lot of our units are really basic. Like, these, basically all of these guys are nothing. And then these guys are... But they're really only acting as meat shields. I'm still going to try to head towards that Skull Island. We'll see. Throgg, go, go, go. And we are losing public order. I do have to pay attention to public order everywhere. I think the only one that's super negative right now is the Aisling Conclave. They don't appreciate all the taxes. Go figure. Norskins don't like taxes. Okay.
Slaughter the sheep.
And I probably should have headed towards Felman Ingerson as well, but I want that Skull Island. It's really close by. I probably should have gone into the March stance as well, but let's end the turn and see if anybody immediately declares war on us. Just before we run out the clock of this particular episode. War between Kislev and Clan Molder, we don't really care about. And I think I'm actually going to... We'll do. We'll go March stance right out into the water. Near the Skull Reef, but not quite. And then we can start off in the... we can start off with a big old Skull Island fight at the start of next episode. Because I think I am going to call this episode here. We are basically out of time. There's a few more buildings and administrative stuff to do, which, you know what, I'll do right now, but otherwise. And yes, I could probably start building, whatchamacallits. The defensive bloody bulwarks everywhere. But I feel like we go for the money first, and then we'll get the bloody bulwarks as we hit level 3 with all of these places. It just feels like it's more worth it to get more cash early on than the other stuff, because we are losing 1,500 per turn. It's a lot. It's a crazy, crazy amount. We did get one Vile Intellect, though, did we not? I swear we got one or something. Huh, maybe not. Where does it keep track? Is it up here? No, seriously, where the hell does it keep track? How do we know when we have it? Weird. I gotta look into this and how this works exactly. But yes, as I said, I'm calling it here. Next time we will start off with that Skull Island battle. Maybe it'll be a win, maybe it'll be a loss, who knows. But if it's a win, it'll keep us from going bankrupt for a good long time. Then after that, regardless of whether it's a win or loss, we will head towards Doomkeep to try to get the Aislings on our side. Then we will be, hopefully before Wulfric confederates them, because they're fighting amongst themselves. Well, it might be easier to just confederate them both, but as I said before, we don't want to confed probably too much right away, because all of the Empire are going to declare war on us, and then they'll just start sailing up here, and we can't really defend any of our territories because we only have one lord, and we can't afford a second. Until we do, I'd prefer to take only enough territories to that we can hold on to, but the thing is, the World Walkers will declare war on us, so probably stay tuned for that next time. So with that said, as always, I do appreciate any and all feedback regards to the gameplay or the way I do things on this channel. If you have a second, please do take it to leave a like and a comment to support the channel. It really does help. As always, all glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.